So we have our core restore. So to do our actively strong, optimally mobile core restore, we're going to start by sitting on the floor. You could explore how much, when you sit down, you want to have your yoga mat about 8 or 10 inches in front of the chair. So we can sit up tall and we can find out what does it feel like to have your legs bent as you do this collapse and extension, knowing that this puts a little bit more pressure through your hips. And then what does that feel like when your legs are extended to collapse and extend? So explore those positions, moving into them slow and control. How you doing, Robin? So today we're going to be with a yoga mat and a chair. And so just jump in when you're ready. And take your time if you want to kind of even just watch for your first session today. But we're going to be sitting on a yoga mat about 8 or 10 inches in front of a chair. And we want to explore again, what does it feel like with your legs out straight versus with your legs bent? How does this feel through your hips, through your spine? We can sit up tall through here. And as you sit up tall, what you want to do is find out how does it feel. Now we're going to lean back and we're going to explore how does it feel like to collapse through your back, slouching down, and then just extending up so your shoulder blades go up over the top of the chair. Feeling that spine extend. Where do you feel tightness? And then collapse. And then arch back up, extending through your spine. Again, paying attention to what your legs are doing. And now we're going to do that, bend your legs. And we're going to do that same thing, slouching and then extending. Seeing if you can extend, how does that pressure feel through your back? And then relax, slouch, and extend back up. From here, we're going to take your legs back out straight. We're going to hold this extension. We're going to pick one leg up, lifting the foot about 5 inches off the ground, the thighs just about 1 inch off the ground, trying to keep your quad nice and tight. Holding it here for about a 10-second count, as long as you're not getting any cramping. We're going to relax. We're going to relax your spine. We're going to extend through your back, this time lifting the same leg, but pointing your toes. As long as you don't get any cramping, sitting up nice and tall through your spine, through your chest, and then lower the leg and relax. If you get any cramping, just think about contracting the leg. We're going to relax through your spine, extend up. We're going to move to the other leg, pulling the toes back on this first lift, keeping it nice and tight. Again, if you get cramping, just think about contracting the thigh and keep the leg on the ground. And relax. Relax everything. We're going to extend up. You're going to point your toes, lift up and hold. Again, just nice and steady. You're saying, do you get any shaking? Do you get any cramping? How does it feel through the front of this thigh? Sitting up tall through your chest, through your rib cage, and relax. Now we're going to keep both legs on the ground. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to lean away from the chair, but we're not sitting up all the way. We're still leaning back just a little bit to really focus in on the upper abdominals, seeing how does that feel across your neck and shoulders. And relax. We do that again. You're going to extend and then lift away. Feeling what does that do to the front part of your thighs, through your hips. Again, we're leaning back. We're not sitting up all the way. That leaning back allows your upper abdominals to have tension in them. And then relax, falling back into the chair. From here, we're going to move to a lying down position. So we're going to explore. You've got your legs out straight. When you lay down, your legs naturally rotate out to the sides, toes out, knees out. We're going to actively rotate the legs back up so the toes and knees are pointing up, which is more neutral. We're going to do your right leg first. So now we're going to let that right leg fall back out and then take your right arm out to the side. We're going to lift your right foot, taking the inside part of the ankle high to the sky, as high as you can. We're using the weight of the leg to create more tension for your abdominals. You're thinking about squeeze your abs, push your low back, trying to lift your pelvis up off the floor, squeezing your abs, and then relax, lowering that leg back down. We're going to rotate both legs back up. We're going to stay with that same side. Right leg rotates back out, taking the inside part of that ankle high to the sky. If you want, you can add an additional upper body crunch into it. Otherwise, just keep your head back, especially if you have neck and shoulder issues. Taking the inside part of the foot high to the sky, and then relax it back down. We're going to switch sides. So now both legs are pointing up. We're going to let the left leg rotate out. We're going to take the inside part of that ankle high to the sky. Squeeze through your abs. Holding it nice and tight through your abdominals, as long as you don't get any cramping. And then relax. If you want to make it a little more challenging, you can add up the upper body where your arms are crossed. Otherwise, keep your arm out to the side. Rotate the legs back up, and then let the left rotate back out to the side. Take the inside part of the ankle high to the sky. Get that foot into position, and then do the upper body crunch. If you're shaking, that's okay. Challenge your body to hold it just a little longer, and then relax out of it. From here, we'll move to lying on your side. So here what we want to do is we want to stack up your thighs, your hips, and you want to make sure that your forearm and elbow are underneath your shoulder. We want to avoid having it up above us. So the other thing, when our knees and hips are stacked, we want to make sure that they get aligned with our shoulder. We're going to take the top leg, we're going to extend it out, and we're going to bridge, lifting our hips up, keeping this top shoulder away, lifting up and holding, seeing how high can you lift up off the floor. Can you push your hips forward? And then as you lower, putting pressure into this outer part of the hip. How does that feel? That pressure on your hip. We're going to now lift up once again. Lift up and hold. Trying to bring those hips forward and up towards the sky, away from the floor. Take that top shoulder away to reach those fingers on that top hand towards your feet and relax. Bring that hip back down. We'll switch sides. Again, taking our time with your setup, making sure that your legs get stacked. This elbow and forearm are closer to your hips rather than above your head. We're going to take your hips forward. We're going to take the top leg, extend it. If you want, you can lift the top leg if you want more of a challenge. If you want to keep it a little more stable, keep that top leg on the floor. Reach the top arm, fingers towards your feet, hips up and forward. Really squeeze through this bottom side glute. And then down. You get to see how does this side feel when you put pressure on this outer part of that hip. And here we go. We're going to lift up. Reach that top arm down. Feeling it through this lower part of the rib cage, through the obliques on this side closest to the floor. And down. All right, we're going to move to lying on your back. So lying on your back, you're going to keep your feet wide at the edges of the yoga mat. We're going to keep your feet down. You have some options of just pushing through your heels or pushing through the entire foot with your ball of the foot and heel touching the floor. Here we go. We're going to lift your hips high to the sky, trying to push your glutes, squeeze the glutes, trying to push the front of your hips through, almost like you feel like you're trying to push your bones through your skin, through your clothing. And then down. Here we go. Once again, this time we're going to do the same thing. You're going to try to roll your spine up off the floor as you lift a bridge. We're going to hold that for about a 10 count. And then you're going to attempt to roll back down one vertebrae at a time, starting with that upper back, mid back, low back. Now we're going to bring your feet and legs together. If you have a history of back issues or this is your first time, go ahead and keep both feet down. If you want more of a core challenge, once we're up, we will extend one leg. So here we are. We're going to lift your hips up. If you want, stay there. Otherwise, extend one leg. If you want more of a core challenge, trying to keep those thighs side by side. Don't let the thigh shift. Keep the pelvis nice and level. We're going to bring that foot down. We're going to lower the hips. We're going to do once again with the other leg if you're going to the single leg. Otherwise, just stay with both feet down. Lift and extend. Otherwise, if you're staying with both feet down, just continue to stay there, trying to keep your knees and thighs together. Bring that foot down. Everyone lower your hips. All right, so from here, we're going to move to, you can do this in a doorway. You can do this seated next to a wall like I'm going to do, or you can do it next to a piece of furniture. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate as far as you can, and then we're going to rotate into a block which is really close. I'm going to do it next to this wall over here. So what you do is you sit along about an inch away from the thing that's going to block you. We're going to sit up nice and tall here with our fingertips on top of your shoulders. When we rotate, our legs shift. We want to avoid that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate as far away as you can, going for maximum range of motion, seeing how far can you rotate before those legs want to shift. And then we're going to rotate back into the furniture. For me, it's the wall. We're going to hold this position steady for a 10 count. My outside ribs are pushing me closer to the wall. My arm touching the wall is pushing away, creating a more challenge for my muscles. We're going to rotate as far away as you can, going that maximum range, and we're going to rotate right back into it, holding it here. Sitting up tall, trying to keep that inside glute touching the floor as you rotate into the wall or the furniture. It starts to tip away. And we're going to relax, rotating away as far as you can, and relax. We'll switch sides. So now we just sit with our feet in the other direction. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to turn as far away as we can, looking for that maximum range again before those legs shift. And then we're going to rotate back into the block, holding it here nice and steady. Again, this outside part squeezes a little bit more. The arm touching is pushing away. And then we're going to relax, rotating as far away as you can, sitting up tall, and then we're going to rotate back in, rotating through your spine. Your chest and shoulders move together. The fingertips are on top of your shoulders. And relax, rotating as far away as you can. And now we'll go back to the yoga mat face down. So here what we want to do is we want to tuck your forehead, chin down, so your forehead is touching the ground, your nose and chin are away. We're going to lift your arms and shoulders back, keeping your head down. And this is what it's like to lift through your shoulders and upper back. And then relax those arms. We're going to do that once again. Lift up. Feeling that between the shoulder blades, through the back of the arms, and relax. Now with this next lift, we really want to concentrate through your low and mid back, right down the center of your spine. And so you're going to keep your arms and shoulders down. We're going to gently lift up. Once you're up, you can push your stomach out to assist your back muscles. And relax. Again, so this one, your arms stay down. We're going to lift up once again. Once you're up, you can push your stomach out. And relax. All right, from here we'll move to a seated position. All right. So here in this position, what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of foot and toe exercises. So it's nice to sit with your feet below you in a comfortable position. If you have your choice, you want to kind of sit with your hips above your knees, versus if you sit in a chair that's lower and your knees start to go above your hips, that's more hip flexion. That puts a lot of strain and challenges into your body. It's just not a great position to do a lot of extremity exercises in. And so one of the things we're going to do here is we're going to do a big toe extension. So you're going to keep your 4 little toes down, and you're going to lift your big toe. And if you want, you can block over the top, holding your 4 little toes down. You can even use your other foot. We're going to hold that for about a 10 count. You're trying to keep that big part of the ball and then relax everything on the floor as opposed to rotating through the whole leg, trying to keep your thighs stable. We're going to stay at the same side. Again, keep the 4 little toes down, lift the big toe, extending the big toe. As you extend that big toe, the MTP joint, this ball part of the inside part, likes to lift off, but try not to let it. And then we're going to relax. We're going to switch sides, so we'll jump over to the other side. Keep the 4 little toes down, lift the big toe. Again, you can block if you want to assist. Eventually, you want to get to where those muscles can move independently of each other, and relax. Can it relax when you ask it to, or does the body keep tension there? We're going to lift up once again. Lift that toe. Keep the 4 little toes pressing down. You want to think about, as you've done this a little bit longer, can you get those 4 little toes to create pressure into the floor? And relax. All right, we're going to jump back to the first side. This time we're going to keep the big toe down. Block the big toe. We're going to lift the 4 little toes, trying to get separation, trying to lift and separate those 4 toes. And so even doing it with a sock on as opposed to doing it barefoot, and relax. The sock is going to provide a little bit more resistance. Here we go. We're going to keep the big toe down, lift the 4 little toes, and separate. Again, you can block that big toe, try to avoid any cramping, and relax. All right, we'll jump to the other side. You're going to keep the big toe down. We're going to lift the 4 little toes. And so what's happening as you hold this contraction, you're squeezing blood and nutrients out, metabolites at that point, and then relax. We're going to do that once again. All the minerals that your body has used all get pushed out when you're squeezing and creating a muscle contraction. And then relax. And then when you relax, new blood, oxygen, and water get to flow back into that area. And that area is like almost requesting it at that point because it's just pushed it all away. Now what we're going to do is called a short foot. So you're going to sit with your foot. You can just do it with your foot straight ahead. I'm just going to turn just to show a better angle. What you want to think about is you're trying to squeeze just to grip the floor, which is going to create tension through your lower arch and that plantar fascia area. And you want to make sure that you're not getting any cramping, and then just relax. But we're also not trying to curl the toes all the way under. So it's just a small little grip. We're holding that for about a 10 count. As long as you don't get any cramping, we're squeezing those toes together and relax. It's just a slight increase of your arch. So we'll do the other side now. We just squeeze the floor. Again, not enough that the toes curl, just enough to create more tension in this arch. And then relax. And here we go. Once again, squeeze. And relax. All right. Now we're going to do a little tibial rotation. So here you want to make sure that thighs stay the same distance between each other. The knees aren't going to move towards each other. And what we're going to do is we're going to think of your foot as a windshield wiper and the floor as the windshield. And so what we're going to do is you're going to rotate the foot outward. You're going to hold it there for 1, 2, and then we're going to rotate all the way back across. Again, without allowing those thighs to change position, just where that foot wants to lift up off the ground, holding it here for about a 10 count, stretching that outside, feeling just a mild amount of tension on the inside part of the leg. Then we're going to rotate back out, sweeping that foot across, holding here for 1, 2, and then sweep it back in for this internal. Again, right before that foot and inside toe wants to lift off, we're holding it here for the majority of time and try not to let those knees and thighs move. And then rotate back out, and we'll switch sides. So here, foot is sweeping across the floor. We're going to rotate out for 1, 2, and then rotate, sweeping that foot back across, holding it here. Again, exploring how does this tension feel throughout your body? Are you getting any cramping when you're in this position? How does this side feel compared to the other side? We're going to rotate back out for 1, 2, and then we'll sweep that foot back across, moving through the heel where your heel is making contact with the floor, sweeping that foot across. And relax. All right, now we're going back to this first side. You're going to slide the foot out. You're going to keep your heel on the floor, and we're going to pull the toes up towards the top of the leg. So here, I've just got the foot down and I'm pulling the toes up. Think about getting the top of the foot towards this knee. It's making this front part of the shin tighten and then relax. Here we go. Once again, pull up and hold. And relax. Okay, we'll do the other side. We're going to go up and hold. You want to find out, does either ankle hurt more than one or the other? Do they feel like they move about the same? And relax. All right, once again, we're going to pull up and hold. Up and hold, up and hold. And relax. All right, final exercise, and then we're going to do some little exploration of your foot bones. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your foot, heel stays on the floor. We're going to let the toes drop down and across. And keeping the heel on the floor, we're going to rotate the toes up and out, trying to get the little toes closer to this outside part of the knee. So it's rotating up and out. Feeling the tension go on this outer side part of this fibula. And then we're going to drop that foot down and across. So we're helping this lower leg and ankle get used to going from a supination and plantar flex position to pronated and dorsiflexed. So we're exaggerating movements that our body goes through every time we step. And relax. Okay, we'll switch to the other side. We're going to take this foot down and across. We're going to keep that heel down, pull up and out, holding it here for about a 10 count. Again, you're just thinking, can you continue to pull those the toes to the outside part of this knee? And then we're down. And again, we're going to pull up and out. Just feeling that squeeze. Are you aware of this little bit of tightness that is happening throughout your body? And relax. All right, so now what we're going to do is you're going to stay where you're at, but we're going to bring your right foot up across your lower leg. And you can start to explore this heel. There's like a little bit of an angle through here. So you don't have to press very hard. You can just follow that line of that heel bone, which is the calcaneus. And then as you want to then kind of extend your finger and just feel across. There are little bitty, they almost feel like little rocks as you go across the foot back up. And then there's a little row of them. And you just want to kind of feel, can you feel when you press your finger in there, the bones of your feet? Just the little hard parts. And you don't want to push really hard. And then once you get back down to this lower part, or the part closer to the floor, that's where all of a sudden you can feel the metatarsal, and you can feel this fifth one. And so you can kind of go up and down the edge on the outside closest to the floor, or you can go on the side closest facing you guys now, which is more the bottom of my foot. You can feel that fifth metatarsal all through there. And then what you want to try to do is start figuring out and exploring, can you feel that fourth bone in there? And then what about the third, where that third toe is and that third metatarsal? Are you aware that these areas exist? And now we're going to go find that second area. So the second metatarsal that lines up right with the bottom of that second toe, and just kind of feeling the top and the bottom of that bone. And then we're going to move to the first one, which is the one closest to the ceiling. And we're just moving right back out. And you can kind of find that, there's these little areas. So now we're going to go do the same with your left leg. So now we're going to bring the left foot up. We're just going to take your fingers and you're just going to curl around the heel nice and gently. And as you start from the top to the bottom, and again, you don't have to apply a lot of pressure, you start to find that, above that is a little row of, again, kind of like these little rocks. And you just kind of press your finger into that, and then you slide up just a little bit more closer to the toes. We're going to take that back down. And then you find that little fifth metatarsal where it's more of that longer bone, and you can feel both the bottom part of the foot of that and also the lateral edge that's now facing towards the floor. And then you can go on top of that and the bottom at the same time. And then we're going to go to the fourth metatarsal, which is associated with that fourth toe. And you're just going to follow that. And can you feel that separation between that bone? And it's almost like you're just squeezing it lightly between. And then we're going to go find the third. And we're going to trace that third all the way down. And so this side is a lot more sensitive, just even with that same level of touch. And now we're going to go find the second. So then you want to just be on top of that second, kind of exploring, becoming aware of these little areas. Do you have any sensitivities? And then we're going to move to this first one. And again, just a nice gentle squeeze. I've got one hand on top, one hand on the bottom, and I'm just kind of squeezing it together. Nice. So we'll do that.